Tonight on 20 to 1, we're counting down 20 crazy customs. From the outrageous...
Why did you pull it off my hand then? Whack someone, punch someone.
The word tool springs instantly to mind.
To the courageous.
Just makes my eyes water.
We've got fun for the body.
The thighs, buns of steel, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, we're going to laugh all weekend. It's going to be great.
And affairs of the heart.
Supposedly you only do it once.
Good evening and welcome to 20 to 1, Crazy Customs. Tonight we're focusing on the weird and wonderful ways we have fun. Some are traditions passed down and enjoyed over generations. Others are trends that are loved for a moment and then forgotten. And speaking of love, we start tonight's countdown with a celebration of romance. Predetermined, scheduled romance. How romantic.
Love is in the air, everywhere I look around.
At 20, love is in the air as we celebrate Valentine's Day, the custom that sends hearts aflutter all over the world.
As my husband says, each day is Valentine's Day, isn't it?
It just means so much. Because if your partner doesn't get you something on Valentine's Day, it means they hate you.
I don't need a dead saint to remind me that I should buy my wife a bangle. Bauble.
I need love.
Saint Valentine, an early Christian priest and the world's first true snag, ruined it for all men when, according to legend, he sent letters to his own sweetheart signed, "From your Valentine."
She said love don't come easy.
If, as a standard Commonwealth Garden variety male, you forget it, all hell breaks loose.
I'm not into Valentine's Day. Then when I don't get anything, I'm outraged.
My wife always says, no, I don't want flowers, it's over-commercialised, so you don't get flowers and then you get in trouble.
These days, Valentine's Day is the biggest shopping occasion outside Christmas. The question is not how deep is your love, but how deep is your pocket.
Beautiful roses for a beautiful lady.
And if you can't say it with flowers, how about placing an ad in the postals?
Oh, the volumes of losers. Oh, I love you, snippy poodle pop. You just go, oh, do you? You deserve each other.
My wife and I celebrate Valentine's Day in a very romantic way. I hold the ladder for her while she cleans the leaves out of the gutter. It's a very bonding experience.
Valentine's Day. I don't need someone to tell me when to buy flowers. Unless it's Patty, of course. Eventually coming to rest at number 19, it's a 1,200-year-old crazy custom from Japan, the log riding festival of Onbashira.
Sort of brings tree hugging to a whole different level, doesn't it?
What happens is that young men go into the forest every 6 years and chop down 2 giant conifer trees. They then ride these things like surfboards down the hillside to the Shinto temple.
But if you hold onto it the whole way down and you get down to the bottom, what do you do then? You turn around your mate and go, see that? I went the whole way down on a log, and he'll go, yeah, mate, you're still an idiot.
It doesn't hurt me.
With logs over 15 metres long and weighing several tonnes, the festival can result in serious injury and even death.
I don't understand why people do things like this. I mean, I understand a religious festival, but ride a log down a hill? Are they asking for trouble? Not to mention splinters.
One of the ironies of the Japanese. They're a society that is so sensible. Yeah, they do these crazy, crazy things.
If you've got a choice, don't ever do anything that's going to kill you. It's got to be that simple, doesn't it?
They must have very different public liability insurance in Japan to what we have in Australia, because you would never get away with that here.
At number 18, it's a tradition that keeps getting bigger and better. Going to the races in a hat, if you can call them that.
Never wear a hat that looks like a primary school project.
I think you can kind of get away with anything at the races. It's almost like nothing can be over the top, can it?
Some of the hats, they're like out here. They're sort of like in there. They're sort of like got things out of them.
A giant bird cage with 2 canaries in it, strapped to their head, and that's the hat.
It all started in the 1960s when the Victorian Racing Club wanted to increase the number of fillies in the field. So the ladies were lured through the turnstiles with fashion competitions.
A beautiful looking woman at Flemington Racecourse with a magnificent hat on is a sight to behold.
In recent years, the Fascinator has burst onto the scene as the hat you wear when you're not wearing a hat.
I find the Fascinator unfascinating.
I'm still confused about what the difference between a fascinator and a hat. A fascinator is a feather, is that right?
Flimsy but fabulous, Fascinators are an explosion of feathers and flowers.
Let's face it, if you're short on time or short on money, you can just throw a flower and a feather in there and you're good to go.
So in this sport of kings where princesses are welcome, there's another race day custom emerging, making a royal mess of yourself.
I love the girls that go to the races in their beautiful big hats. 5 hours later.
The hat is kind of askew and the makeup is askew and the smoke's coming out there and the champagne is here and everybody looks hideous.
Muscling in at number 17, it's bodybuilding, the craze where size really does matter.
This look is so repulsive. I don't think men do this to be attractive to women.
The ones that I've known at the gym, all they eat is tuna and boiled eggs, and they fart when they when they do their lifts.
And they're always grimacing up on stage. It looks like you're watching them go to the toilet. They scare the hell out of me.
Everybody thinks they're, they've got little tiny, things. But they're so big and their Speedos are so small that it makes it look like that.
Although around for centuries, bodybuilding became huge following the 1977 film Pumping Iron, which also pumped up the fame of one of its stars.
Arnold Schwarzenegger!
I don't want to be huge, I want to be massive. Why do you want to be massive? Just be yourself.
No one normal goes, oh, you're beautiful. You're it. You're the way a human should be. People go, you freak.
Flexing's not just for the fellas. Since the first Miss Olympia competition in 1980, the girls can grimace too.
Females that end up looking like males.
Why they bother wearing a bikini, I'll never know.
I think that women's bodybuilding accents, if it's done properly, it accents your femaleness.
Any woman who can clearly beat me up isn't attractive.
And then there's Richard Sandrak. Known as Little Hercules, he was buff even as a baby.
When I got older and stronger, like 2 years old, I began doing dumbbells,
No matter what age you start bodybuilding, there's an inevitable problem when you stop.
I was a bodybuilder, but now the muscles turn to fat. You've got to be very careful.
Coming up on Crazy Customs.
Another great idea.
Why would you?
It's just grass.
I think guys like the thought of it.
Best game of rugby league I've ever seen.
She owns over 1 billion pairs of shoes.
It just makes my eyes water.
Welcome back to 20 to 1 Crazy Customs. And at number 16, it's an athletic contest that will never be funded by the Australian Institute of Sport. Getting down and dirty at number 16, it's mud wrestling, a pastime that slid into Australia in the early 80s.
It's certainly not a new idea by any means. Mud wrestling has been popular in Europe and the United States for more than a decade.
Best game of rugby league I've ever seen.
People who think that women haven't been liberated and emancipated, take a look at mud wrestling.
Great idea. Not enough of it. It should be a national sport.
I think guys like the thought of it rather than actually going to see it. I think if a bloke went to see it, he'd be like,
Why did I think this was so good?
The girls who practice for 3 to 4 hours a day receive what they describe as a good wage. And why not when kicking, punching, scratching and hair pulling is included in the rules?
And I really enjoy it. It's just grouse.
Which genius came up with that out the back of some seedy joint? Well, we need is like 2 chicks, right? And what we'll do is we'll get them to wrestle. What about in mud? Oh, I'm a genius!
Tell me about how it feels like when you're around there waddling in the mud.
Feels like mud. I wonder if it's good for the skin. Mud.
Mud wrestling's highest expression was in the comedy classic Stripes, where John Candy looks as happy as a pig in mud.
John Candy into the mud. Wonderful scene and true to life.
In recent years, jelly wrestling has become popular as an alternative to mud. But is it any more tasteful?
Why would you? You'd get jelly in places that you don't need jelly.
I do like jelly in a bowl, and I've walked through mud, but to combine all of those 3 words together, it's not something that I would do or even go and see.
When I see a woman mud wrestler caked in mud or spaghetti or jelly, I think it just adds a new level of respect.
Who said men aren't interested in women's sport? At number 15, it's Barbie, the worldwide phenomenon and idol of millions of little girls. But what's the attraction of Miss Plastic Fantastic?
She's got the ample bosom, the tiny little waist, the long legs, and she owns over 1 billion pairs of shoes.
Hey, girls, you've got the look. Work out with me and tap that foot.
If women were proportioned like Barbie, there would be no room for any internal organs, which I think is a really fair trade for such a cool camper van.
I actually collect Barbie dolls. I'm not obsessive, mind you, but I've probably got about 480 Barbies.
Well, she's not alone. Over 1 billion Barbies have been sold in 150 countries since her launch in 1959.
Beautiful Barbie, I'll make believe that I am you.
So where did this little girl with the fantasy figure come from?
She was developed by a lady who felt that she couldn't find any nice dolls for her children.
I felt that if they got a grown-up doll with breasts, it would ease their feelings about themselves as they were growing up. It would help them.
It's like, yeah, but as an older woman, the breasts eventually sag and Barbies stay rock hard for 1 million years. Barbie's going to last longer than cockroaches. When there's an atomic bomb, there's going to be Barbies everywhere.
Barbie might have been lucky in the looks department, but alas, she was unlucky in love. After 43 years with the man who was made for her, Ken, they finally split up.
Divorce Barbie comes with Ken's camper van and Ken's house and most of Ken's assets, apparently.
Barbie and Ken were the world's favourite couple. Now it's the Beckhams, and there are striking similarities between the two.
The thing that separates us from the animal kingdom is hair removal. We're obsessed with it.
Sliding smoothly into number 14 is waxing.
There's nothing worse than a hairy back, hairy chest. I've been telling my wife this for years.
Hair removal is the height of fashion right now, even down there. Thanks to, you guessed it, the Brazilian.
It's pretty much you're in the nude having a stranger put wax on your area.
I can't go all the way. I like a tidy up, that's as far as it goes.
No one will have any sort of humility left after all this Brazilian waxing. It'll just be kind of all out there, you know.
Oh! Oh, God!
I'm not a big fan of the waxing. In fact, I try to keep all of my hair because I think it looks really attractive on a lady.
And on a man, too. In fact, back in the 70s, some blokes even got it glued on.
Would you be going to a disco or something like that tonight? Yeah, I hope to. Wear an open shirt, a couple of chains, and show my hairy chest off.
It's come a long way from the 70s. Hair removal certainly wouldn't have gone astray back then.
But mid-1990s, someone, somewhere, decided that waxing was the way to go for guys.
Sounds of waxing.
Take those eyebrows off, please, Belinda.
Okay.
for guys to get a crack sack and back wax just makes my eyes water.
The back I could live with, the crack I could probably live with, but the sack?
At number 13, it's the relatively recent phenomenon of the celebrity adoption.
It's obviously, you know, just what you do in Hollywood at the moment.
To tell you the truth, I don't really understand the celebrity adoption thing that's going on.
Look, adopt away, I say. Adopt as many as you want. Different colours. Adopt a rainbow.
I'd love to adopt just a bunch more kids.
Angelina Jolie started her rainbow-coloured family when she adopted little Maddox from Cambodia in 2002.
Angelina Jolie, she just won't stop.
You know, now the questions are more when you have a mixed-race family, do you balance the races so there's another African person in the house for Z? So there's another Asian person in the house for Mad. Shiloh has Brad and I she can look at. You know, these are the questions we're more asking.
Can she have any more children from a third world country, we wonder?
Oh, yes, she can. Angelina adopted a third child, a 3-year-old boy from Vietnam.
So I need these shoes and a black baby and maybe Chinese, and then I'll have the whole set.
And Madonna can't rein in her maternal instincts either.
You know, Madonna is no Angelina. Angelina does her adopting on the QT, while Madge takes a bulldozer through the orphanage and says, "Don't mind me."
Madonna's adoption of baby David from Malawi provoked a storm of criticism.
Madonna emerged facing claims of using her wealth and influence to bend Malawi's laws and secure her temporary adoption order.
Court of public opinion suggested that, you know, she'd done this with undue haste and beaten the system and questioned her motives, and was he better off or not better off?
I wanted to go into a third world country, I wasn't sure where, and give a life to a child who otherwise might not have one.
Couldn't get a better adopted mother than Madonna, I don't think. If someone's going to adopt you, Madonna would be great.
You know, I hear that David is the sweetest kid and the best money can buy.
Coming up on Crazy Customs.
People think I'm mad.
They're weird.
Hello.
The thighs, buns of steel, it's a beautiful thing.
Tool springs instantly to mind.
It was quite groundbreaking at the time.
The suit's got to go back.
There does come a point where you have to say, stop, enough.
Welcome back to 20 to 1 Crazy Customs. If you bucked the trend and missed the start of tonight's show, here's a quick peek at what you've missed. At number 20, unspontaneous love on Valentine's Day. 19, a festival that has the wood on all others. At 18, it's hats off to hats at the races. At 17, building a bulging body. Number 16 is the dirty sport of mud wrestling. In at 15, it's the plastic fantastic Barbie. At number 14, going bald on purpose. At 13, celebrities pick and choose their families. And at number 12, it's an obsession that used to be called hoarding.
People think I'm mad.
It's an interest that has grown out of control, basically.
Leaving no stone unturned, it's the world of the crazy collector.
I don't throw nothing away, simple as that. I don't like seeing things wasted.
I think it can get ahead of you because you get a bit sort of tidy town. Well, I've got this and it's really not complete unless I've got that. But there does come a point where you have to say, stop, enough.
Brisbane's Bertie Potts is tied up in a number of things. Apart from managing the city's festival hall, he's an avid collector of mechware and owns no less than 1,500 ties.
The first thing that pops into my mind is this guy that I've seen that collects thongs.
Let me see that thong.
And he finds them on a beach and he nails them to a fence.
He even wears his own collection.
What do your neighbours think of it? Oh, they love it, yeah.
Another one for your collection.
Good.
I'll tell you what, if lightning ever strikes that guy's house with all the thongs on his fence, he just has to hang on to the fence. He is laughing like a shark in a kid's pool. I'm not joking.
That's dinosaur droppings, yes.
You bought those?
Yes, we did. Quite a large sum, too.
I understand collecting, and I think people who collect are fine and are interesting. It's only when it turns to your own fingernails that it becomes creepy.
I collect my own, of course. Last time I counted, I had about 4,500.
They're weird.
Maybe they need another hobby?
I worked for a bloke once who used to collect sick bags from aeroplanes, you know. What are you doing, mate?
Next, it's a trend that was made popular by Tom Cruise. And no, it isn't couch jumping. At number 11, it's the fad that created quite a stir, flair bartending.
Tom Cruise made it famous in Cocktail.
Tom's star power and the edge-of-your-seat circus skills really hit a chord and started a worldwide fad.
That made getting a drink dangerous, which I totally respect. You know, you're really taking your life into your hands by going up to the bar and asking for a drink.
Whenever I see a bartender doing this business, the word tool springs instantly to mind.
You see these guys going like this, I'm like, easy, mate, just wanted a vodka soda. Ah!
Annual World Championships have been held since 1987, and there's even an international association with 10,000 members across 145 countries. That's a lot of tosses.
I think it's great to watch. I love it. I'm spellbound by the tricks that they can do.
You know, I get addicted to watching because I just cannot wait for that moment when they drop it so I can go, ha ha, you dropped it, you clown.
It's a great form of entertainment. Just give me a bottle and a screw top.
Yes.
The suit's got to go back. I'm a simple girl.
I'm a real live, die-hard alcoholic. Don't impress me by spilling my liquor over your shoulder. Pour it in my glass. Don't do a flip, don't roll around, don't do a twist, don't juggle, just pour.
I'm all shook up.
Letting it all hang out at number 10, it's the phenomenon of the nude calendar.
I see you, baby, shaking that ass. Harmless fun, and I truly believe there should be more of them in the world. Preferably, I would like to put my order in for more nude rugby union teams. The thighs, buns of steel, it's a beautiful thing.
Once the preserve of the young and beautiful, the naked calendar was given a makeover when a group of elderly women from Yorkshire decided to bear all to raise money for charity and became icons in the process.
The ladies of Rillstone WI.
Hollywood picked up on the story and turned it into the major motion picture Calendar Girls.
Oh, I saw it. Great flick. Turned me on to calendars. I'd gone right off calendars. I didn't care what day of the week it was, what month we were in. That movie came out and went, hello.
Suddenly, taking it off took off, in the name of charity, of course.
My blood runs cold. My memory has just been sold. My angel is the centerfold.
You got your firemen with calendars, your Murrumbidgee Bowling Club had a calendar out. Matildas, they had a calendar. I even thought of bringing a calendar out.
It was a terrific way to fundraise right at, the early days. Stop now. Everybody has to stop now.
I like pictures of, Santa Claus or Australian landscapes. When I've got a calendar, I want to look up a date, but not look up a date.
Coming up on Crazy Customs.
It unleashes something primal.
Why did you pull it off my hand then?
Do they actually understand what they're doing? Hawk! 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 What's going on in their heads? It's wild.
It's a big American tradition, and I don't know what it's doing here.
Look at that Christmas spirit.
Ludicrous.
Live long and prosper.
Welcome back to 20 to 1 Crazy Customs. At number 9, it's an annual tradition in which scary creatures roam the streets, making demands of innocent homeowners. Those scary creatures are called children. Direct from America to a street near you, it's Halloween.
How Halloween annoys the hell out of me. It's a big American tradition, and I don't know what it's doing here.
It's a tradition in which children go from door to door with masks on, asking for candy to show that they're in league with Satan.
Do they actually understand what they're doing? Is there any culture in it, or is it just an excuse to go out and get lollies?
Well, culturally, Halloween is an ancient pagan festival where each year ghosts haunted the earth. But in these sweet times, it's become more about the not-so-ancient tradition of trick-or-treating.
Don't take candy off strangers, kids. Okay, it's Halloween. Go take candy off strangers.
They think, is there been a better idea than this? I go and knock on people's houses, they give me lollies. That is as good as it gets for them.
I get caught out every year with people knocking at the door, wanting lollies. Well, if I had them, don't you think I'd have eaten them by now?
It's extortion. You know, you're teaching your kids, you know, give us the lollies or we do the plants.
Extortion or not, it's hugely popular. Each Halloween in America, 36 million miniature ghosts, ghouls and goblins go door-knocking. And not surprisingly, it's becoming more and more popular with Aussie kids.
Halloween should not be in this country. I'm totally against it. I think it's ridiculous. I don't like anything that is American. I don't like any American stuff coming over here to Australia.
All right, it's American. All right, it's schmaltzy. All right, it's not our custom. But who cares? If kids are having a blast doing it, fantastic.
Darkness falls across.
Beaming into number 8, we celebrate the fanatical followers of the TV show Star Trek. It's the dedicated, or the disturbed, Trekkies.
They're just nutters with a focus. I mean, really, it's a TV show.
Trekkie. I used to love Star Trek. Captain, I'm picking up an alien signal. I can't believe my ears.
Neither can we, Spock. Neither can we.
Mostly it's guys who are very lonely and live with mum.
We don't all live in our parents' basement. Some of us are normal people.
What is so dull about their own world that they have to do that stuff? What's going on in their heads?
The first Star Trek convention materialised in New York in 1972. From that humble beginning, there are now over 100 of these strange sci-fi affairs every year in America alone.
Real Star Trek fans wear Spock ears in everyday life. They wake up with them already attached.
This is normal attire for me. People will be staring at me, and I'm like, what are they staring at me for? To me, it's just natural.
For some, being a Trekkie is more than a hobby. It's a way of life.
Hey, Steve. Hey, Dad. All right.
There's some blokes in the States that speak fluent Klingon.
How do you say kill?
And you just go, mate, you could be learning French. One fan, or is that fanatic, turned up for jury duty dressed in full uniform.
I was performing my civic duty. I wore my uniform just as any other officer in the military would wear theirs.
I think people who are into Star Trek are people who are quite longing for something better, you know, a better world.
Live long and prosper. Live long and prosper. Try that. Hey, kids. And that one.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire!
Stampeding into number 7 is the tradition that sends everyone crazy. The post-Christmas sales.
Oh, yeah, like a good sale. I find them to be just ludicrous.
Christmas sales hurt me. I don't go anywhere near them anymore. I'd rather pay full price and deal with all those idiots.
Record crowds rush to snap up $8 billion worth of bargains in the biggest event on Australia's retail calendar.
People go under the doors, have you seen that? The door gets a foot off the ground and they're already in, gone. Punching people out for a scarf. It's wild.
It's like a cat fight in there. Like, I saw a lady take a shoe and that lady wanted it. It was just one size.
This is the female battlefield, I think, the sales. It unleashes something primal where you're going to whack someone, punch someone, pull something out of their hands, rip their hair and take home the spoils.
But when a woman on crutches stumbled, shoppers began falling over each other. There was little security could do to stop the stampede. The crowd just kept coming.
In London, Harrods pays top dollar for celebrities to open its world-famous post-Christmas sales. There's nothing some people won't do to grab the best bargains.
I've never quite understood the queuing mentality of people who will queue for 2 days to get $10 off something.
Hey, look, I got a George Foreman grill. I saved myself $10. I killed 2 people to get it, but gee, I'm happy with my purchase.
Why did you pull it off my hand then? We were grabbing at the same time. I just have to have a bit more strength.
Look at that dignity. Look at that Christmas spirit out the window. Nothing is worth owning that much that I'm going to queue. Nothing. Nothing.
Coming up on Crazy Customs.
Who started it?
It's a fantastic spectacle.
What a wonderful childhood.
It's a bloke thing.
Idiots. Welcome back to Crazy Customs. Now to a tradition that shines a little light and love on the holidays, but it could also have the greenies protesting on your doorstep. At number 6, it's Christmas lights, a shining example of a crazy custom.
I like Christmas lights. I've always been a fan of fairy lights, and that doesn't have to be Christmas time.
I'm going to admit, I have been known to take my kids to pack them into the car and take them out to a street with Christmas lights.
We usually get really good reactions when we come out the door and they go, "Oh, is this your house?" And they say, "Nice house, lady."
How much did that cost you? $100,000. Great. Well done.
Who started it? Oh, Chevy Chase, hey? You want to have all the lights on. You want his family to enjoy a great time.
Next minute, the whole thing's lit up like the MCG. So I think there's that neighbourly one-upmanship that probably gets the better of most people.
I've been working since the beginning of June. I've actually spent 50 hours a week.
It's a bloke thing.
To put all the lights up on the roof took me nearly 8 weeks.
But Christmas lights don't always mean Christmas spirit. One family in the New South Wales town of Casino was banned from the annual competition because they kept outshining all the other entrants.
You've won 7 from 9. Yeah. So you are too good.
They don't have any hope of winning when these people are winning it year after year.
You know, if people want to do it and if they get joy out of it, it's a fantastic spectacle. It's a great thing for kids to see. So bring it on, more of it.
You know, I've got a bloke across the road from me and he's thrown out the challenge because he's put a few lights up. So now I'm starting to think I might stick a few lights up next year. And then I thought, well, I better put more than him. So then when he sees my lights, he's going to go, bugger this, I'm getting more lights than him. But I'm going to beat that bloke, I'm telling you. I'm going to have more lights than you, pal.
Up next, it's a Gold Coast tradition that's easy on the eye and easy on the pocket.
I know a girl with a golden touch.
Filling the number 5 slot, it's the bikini-clad meter maids of the Gold Coast.
It was my childhood dream to be a meter maid in the Gold Coast, in the gold lame. Oh, here it is, off to the side for the ladies, yum.
I grew up in Queensland with meter maids. What a wonderful childhood.
I saw my girl with the golden touch.
These Golden Girls first strutted their stuff in 1965, a plan by local business owners to beat the downturn created by the installation of parking meters. Wearing nothing more than swimmers, a sash and a smile, they patrolled the streets, refilling expired meters to save shoppers from a fine.
I don't need to walk around my cities and see girls in bikinis sashaying around the meters. I feel like I'm in the 50s. I feel like I'm in my 50s. More the point.
I don't think there's anything wrong with them. They're meter maids and they're fun.
Anything that upsets a parking inspector is a good thing.
They were iconic. They were what made the Gold Coast the completely politically incorrect place that it was for so long.
I think they look great. I wish I'd known they looked so good. I would have parked illegally all holiday.
I mean, it did so much for tourism in Queensland. Just, you know, put some money in the slot, and it's the meter maids I'm talking about.
Meter maid could make an old man very happy. Oh, put his money in his meter. Ooh, yeah.
I don't think councils have realised that if they employed the meter maids to write out parking tickets, men would deliberately park illegally and think of the revenue they'd raise. Win-win.
I'll be laughing when I get home.
But everyone was laughing when former AFL glamour boy Warwick Capper was recruited to raise or lower the profile of the meter maids.
What do you rate yourself out of 10?
Oh, about 9.7. And the 0.3 because I'm getting a bit old and I didn't race my legs, otherwise I would have been 10.
Check it out.
They say laughter's the best medicine. If that's true, then here are some people hooked on their prescription. At number 4, it's a crazy custom that's no joke. Laughing schools.
Nothing makes me sadder than a laughing school.
If you really need to go to laughing school to get a chuckle, you should maybe just consider getting some funnier friends.
Go and see a comedian. How hard's that? Oh no, we're at laughing school this weekend. Yeah, we're going to laugh all weekend. It's going to be great.
The first laughter school started in Bombay in 1995 when Dr. Madan Kataria wanted to find out if laughter really was the best medicine.
1, 2, 3.
If you're enjoying yourself and you're having a good time, I always feel much healthier and much happier if I'm laughing, so I would definitely give it a go.
Dr. Kataria discovered that laughing school pupils experienced improved health and lower levels of stress.
You try to stay tense while you're laughing. I can't clench my bum or tighten my back or stiffen my shoulders while I'm going, ha ha ha, because everything has to loosen.
This health technique spread like the flu, and there are now over 5,000 schools in 40 countries around the world.
You don't need to go to school to learn how to laugh, truly.
Look, I know a lot of people like to diss these laughing schools, but I go to one twice a week. It's called a pub. Go out, meet people, have fun. Idiots.
Laughing schools? What a joke. After the break, we reveal our top 3 crazy customs. Welcome back to 20 to 1 as we count down our top 3 crazy customs. And skating into third place is a trend that leaves you scratched, grazed, bruised and broken. And people use them because they're fun. Gliding into number 3, it's a pastime that looks easy and effortless. Roller skating.
It's not as easy as it looks. You think, oh, that looks like fun on a nice day. It's not the case.
I roller skated once and I took that much bark off my elbow and my knee that Mum turned around and said, I think you better leave it to the kids that know what they're doing.
It's always really sexy black women with headphones on doing it backwards. You know, with like a bright yellow singlet on and shorts that just show a little bit too much. And people walking past going, yeah, with boom boxes.
The great thing about roller skating was that you could go to this arena and you could do couple skates and the tandem skating and speed skating, and then maybe even just to throw something into the mix, go the other way.
Kids would go one way and then some asshole would want to go the other way just to piss people off. And then the guy would come on the microphone and say, right, the bloke pushing the girl, just get out, mate.
When roller skating came out, I was such a big fan, but it was a secret shame. I could never admit to it. I was a keen speed skater, and I jumped stuff. You know, jump benches and bins and things.
Roller skates have been giving us Aussies thrills and spills since the 1930s.
The boys watch the girls while the girls watch the boys who watch the girls go by.
And by the 1980s, getting around on 8 wheels was a certified craze after a little push along by the film Xanadu. In the 1990s, roller skates were overtaken by roller blades.
And the roller skating was a social thing, whereas roller blading is individual. How good do I look on these skates?
You can stack hard. They are not fun when you come off them.
It's not the fear of the lycra, it's more the fear of the falling over from a great height that stops me from rollerblading.
Rollerblades are officially life-endangering, I'm telling you.
We used to have the wrist pads, the knee pads, the arm pads. There's nothing sexy about rollerblading.
Here, baby, there, mama, everywhere, daddy, daddy, hey.
Getting ahead at number 2, it's the afro.
Love the afro. I think it's fantastic.
I love the fro. I had a fro when I was about 16. My hair goes really curly and buffy. I was walking around like this.
I think a fro would be cool. Maybe not a huge fro. Maybe like a Leo Sayer sort of short fro.
The afro mushroomed in popularity in the late 60s and 70s with the emergence of the Black Pride political movement and blaxploitation films, movies aimed solely at black audiences.
Like Cleopatra Jones, she had the fro.
Next time you pull a razor on me, you better shave.
I'm trying to bring it back. I'm trying to bring back Angela Davies.